3.
Good evening, and welcome to the Reel McCoy. I'm your host, Meffistoe, and always with me, my hetero life mate. Oh, my feelings. How are you, sir?
I could be better.
Oh,
This
we're
movie
starting
was
out like that, are we?
bad.
I was trying to be positive. I was like, I'm pretty sure I've got a shittier week than you had. You know what I mean? when I
I'm
say
doing
what I
great.
say.
This movie was just awful.
Oh, we'll get to that. What is the Reel McCoy, you might ask? The Reel McCoy is your weekly movie podcast where we ask you to go and watch a movie and you watch it. Sadly, you had to endure this one if you did. And we come back to us and, of course, we break it down for you, nerd out and geek out on it, regardless if it's good or bad. Yes. You could tell where this is going tonight. Let's say hello to the chat. Daisy Girl Williams, how are you, girl? Thank you for joining us. And all the other lurkers, thank you for joining us this evening. The lurkers are the people who keep this thing on its legs, to be honest, because it's fun. Now, this month, we kind of said we're going to do Monty Python. However, Monty Python had only 3 movies. So we kind of had to, talk and have a chit-chat about this when we set everything up, me and Mr. Feelings here. And I suggested we're going to do Time Bandits.
I think
don't
we
remember,
both
and I
kind
said,
of
well-
it's a patico there because we couldn't do the live show because the live show, some people actually they can't get it, so it's like it's impossible to get. And also no one can get Spam a lot because it doesn't exist. Like a recording of it that's you can't yoho and find a copy of it anyway.
No, first of all, you can get an HD cam pirated version of it, but it's, and one of the things I said, I think I did. I don't, again, it's the fact that Spamalot is not really a movie. And neither is the actual their live show.
Yeah.
Even though I have seen it in VHS, but it's still a live stage show rather than a full movie. So think of, you're going to see a play and it's shot like let's say professionally shot play. It doesn't matter which play it is still a play and not a movie. So we kind of said, well, that can't be included. Plus, by the way, if you want to watch the Live at the Hollywood Bowl, you can actually watch it on YouTube. By the way, this movie also, you can watch it on YouTube. It is on one channel, and it's not been taken down for at least 6 years. So,
Well, I would have to say there's probably a reason why they wouldn't take it down.
yes.
It's awful.
And also, the reason why we'll probably hear at the next segment, it is called Behind the Screens.
Sound production, take 2.
Behind the Screens is where we go to All My Feelings and get the lowdown on everything that is behind the scenes, production stuff, everything. Take it away, dude. This is going to be interesting.
So first and foremost, it had a $5 million budget, which, given that time, understandable. It's also bringing back in Mr. George Harrison. But
this time he mortgaged not his house, but the office.
yes, but what's so great is the fact that it made a $42.4 million gross. How this movie made money is mind-boggling because it is awful.
Yeah.
Outside of certain bits, which we'll get to, because there are some Monty Python like through lines there where you go, okay, I get where the boys were talking. Okay.
Yeah.
So, due to a lot of the confusion around Brazil, the film Brazil, Gilliam decided to make a family film.
What? Hold. This was supposed to be a family film?
Yeah, this was
All right.
all of the adverts and everything were directed toward children.
Okay.
And in so many ways, like this movie's really, oh god, it's really dark.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very dark, and it gets
was
increasingly darker.
Yeah, and there's some subversive comedy that's like a a lot of people like to think of like Shrek as one of the first real instances of where adult humor was infused into a children's film. This
to that.
Yeah, because there's everything with Pansy. Yeah, there.
Yeah, everything with Shelley Duvall and Michael Palin both times. The ogre scene with is it Catherine Helmond?
Yes,
The grandma from Who's the Boss. She looks the same. She looks old. She's been looking old for a long
time.
Yeah.
So it was actually co-written by Michael Palin, but Palin only signed on to help co-write it after George Harrison accepted and it got backed by Handmade Films.
Okay.
Sean Connery was brought on after a meeting the producer, David O'Brien, hanging out on a golf course because he was a fan of Monty Python.
Yeah. There's also, and that's something I skimmed by, in the script, when Agamemnon takes off his helmet, in the script it says...
I was gonna read that. Like,
okay.
Yeah. No.
No.
We can say it. No, we can do it. No. Go ahead and do the line because we're already here. So, removing his helmet reveals himself to be none other than Sean Connery or an actor of equal but cheaper stature.
Yeah. and I understood the first thing, and then the rest of the sentence when I read it, because I read it somewhere and I said no, and I had to check somewhere else. I had to. It's the only fact I checked somewhere else. It was like, yeah, it's supposed to be Sean Connery or somebody that looks like him, but cheaper. So Harry Hamlin, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Originally, Michael Palin was actually supposed to play the role of Robin Hood.
Oh.
Instead of John Cleese. But John Cleese was brought on for a different role, then got recast into this role because he actually gave his performance based off of the Duke of Kent when he would address footballers.
Okay.
So,
do continue.
Well, like how he kept saying "jolly good, jolly good."
Yes.
Yeah. That's what he did. Ralph Richardson took his role a little bit too seriously as the Supreme Being, where he would actually come back with notes on the script with things written out in red going, no, God would not say this.
My God. Okay.
Yeah. So you were actually talking about the ogre's wife.
Yes, Catherine
Funny
Hell.
is Ruth Gordon and Gilda Radner
Okay, I can
were
see it. I can
were
see Gilda
supposed to be
Radner doing that
were
thing.
considered to be brought
Mhm.
on, but they wanted a little bit more star power, so they yeah.
Sucks. You know what? I think Gilda Radner would have been better
Oh, Gilda Radner would have been fantastic at this.
because she could have been the. It's sort of like Miracle Max's wife kind of a role.
Yes, yeah.
So Gilda Radner would have been a little bit better in that, but that's personal preference.
Now you mentioned that one of your favorite performances was David Warner as Evil. When we were talking backstage.
Yes, I mentioned it backstage that to me, he stood out as the best. I don't know if it's the lines, the part, or what he made of it. David Warner was the best part of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, Jonathan Pryce was initially offered the role of Evil, but he took a different role, even though he loved Monty Python and wanted to be a part of it, because he was quote unquote too broke at the time and needed a job immediately.
Oh. Well, that's how it goes. And Bass Brooks, don't worry about it. I didn't highlight. I liked
Oh,
your
no, you're good.
I didn't highlight it for let's call it YouTube purposes.
Yes.
I did see it. I did like it.
The ending was rather contentious, and Gilliam was adamant about wanting to change it, but the rest of the crew convinced him not to change it. The death of the parents. Yeah.
To me, from everything, that was the most like out of place thing. But I forgot it's Terry Gilliam. He likes these sort of either ambiguous endings or really shitty endings.
Yeah. No, but Gilliam wanted to change it. He wanted to remove that sad part because, like, well, this doesn't really fit with the positive kind of spin at the end of the film, having their parents die. But it was actually during one of the previous screenings, because there's another ending. We'll get to it when we get to the very end.
Okay.
But one of the kids coming out is going to like, they asked him what was the best part, like when the parents blew up.
See, this is. They didn't understand it was a darker ending.
Yes.
Because there was Michael Bay explosions.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the movie, it's like, oh, yeah, our titular hero, Kevin, he's an orphan now.
Yeah.
That's the end of the movie. Yeah. O'Brien, one of the head of Handmade Studios and one of the main producers, pressured Gilliam to include George Harrison songs more in the film.
Okay.
He finally acquiesced and included Dream Away at the very, very end, which is the final song that's in the credits.
Okay.
And if you listen to the song, George Harrison is talking so much shit about Terry Gilliam.
In the George Harrison song?
In the lyrics, yeah.
I fully admit I haven't.
Yeah.
As soon as it zoomed out from the houses, that was all she wrote for me. I didn't even stay to listen to anything. I didn't even know it was a George Harrison song at the end. I'm sorry. It's one of those things where I should have listened to it. I know, but the movie was so terribly bad. Like, finish your thing, and I'll explain before we go like deep dive.
It was actually Connery's idea to do the magic bit, to try to endear himself more to Craig Warnock, who played Kevin.
Oh, when Agamemnon does the
cups, yeah. Well, and also because initially when they had met, Craig was so just like starstruck. He was so shy he could not act around Sean Connery, and they had to do like multiple.
11, right?
I think so. I think he was like 10 or 11 years old. Like, he was a little boy, and also like he grew up at like Sean Connery was one of his heroes. So it's like working with Yeah, like for me,
And
it
literally
would be
meeting
like,
heroes. Yeah.
yeah, I'd be like working with Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. I'd be like,
Yeah.
man.
There's a story about Robert De Niro. I think who said it? I think it was Bradley Cooper or somebody. He said in an interview that he was so starstruck, but he came prepared, and because he was prepared, he sat down with De Niro, and because the guy, I'm not sure if it's Bradley Cooper. He said, I was so prepared to be good. De Niro immediately recognized that I came prepared.
Yeah.
He immediately gave me full respects and treated me as a full-on equal. And then at the end he explained, I'm so sick of people not coming prepared for movies. I will treat you with with venerance and with respect, as long as you're here to do your job.
Yeah. We had mentioned this backstory, but each of the dwarves was written specifically to be a commentary and kind of an homage to each of the members of Monty Python. Now, do you know which ones are which?
I know that the main guy is supposed to be the replacement for John Cleese.
Cleese, yes. Randall's John Cleese.
The quiet guy who gets the spell on him is supposed to be Chapman.
Chapman, that's Og.
I'm not sure if it's not the rough and tumble guy. It's supposed to be Eric Idle, but I'm not sure.
No, Fidget.
Fidget is the stuttering guy is supposed to be Eric Idle. That's the one. And the other two,
Strutter is
Terry
Eric Idle.
Jones and
Fidget is Michael Palin. Strutter is Eric Idle. Wally is Terry Jones.
Oh,
Wally is like the best one, obviously. Duh. And Vermin is Terry Gilliam. The one who eats everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody want this rat?
It could be your last meal.
Blah.
You can't eat that. How you know unless you try to it? I mean, come on.
I'm stopping here for a second. Mephisto, what is the best Michael Fassbender movie? To me, to be honest, The Killer. The latest one that he did.
Really good.
He's really good at it. Because I don't remember like Michael Fassbender led movie. I think he was always in an ensemble. Like Prometheus, he was on an ensemble. X-Men, he was on an ensemble. 300, he was on an ensemble. So he's always there. He's really good. But I was waiting for him to be the lead of, and in The Killer, it was
all him.
Chef's kiss.
That's a fantastic
My wife.
You're forgetting about the snowman. Oh boy, that movie was
I don't
bad.
think I've seen The Snowman. So
Don't. There's really like it was so hyped up and it was supposed to be so great, but they like you could tell the like a certain strike happened at that point in time, so they got like 2/3 of the way of the movie making complete and total sense, and at the end the plot just fell apart.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
If there's like Base Brooks, if you've got a movie led by Michael Fassbender that you like, just say it in the chat, and I will, of course, critique you.
Well, God, like he was even fantastic in Inglourious Bastards.
Okay. Again,
remember the scene, the Nazi barroom scene.
But it's a part of and
again part of an ensemble cast.
I've seen Inglourious Bastards 3 times.
Twice you fell asleep, I know.
Fell asleep, and both in the same spot. So I don't remember half that movie regardless.
No.
And I don't like it. I'm sorry.
Anyway. No, it's okay.
That first scene, though, is fucking legit.
Yes. Terry Gilliam reportedly couldn't stop laughing at the table scene with Napoleon. And he actually had to walk away.
The Napoleon scene?
I don't know why.
The Ian Holm Napoleon scene?
Yeah, apparently like he couldn't stop laughing like when he was talking about all the different like the historical inaccuracies he's putting on all the other historical figures, like saying how they were shorter than him or they were also short.
Yeah.
Trying to prop himself up. Yeah. Apparently found it hilarious. I don't know why. Let's see. Gilliam shot the film at a low angle, if you notice. Like
Yes.
most of the shots are always shot at a low angle to
Yeah,
mimic
from here to there.
to mimic the entire perspective of a child.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Now there were so many deleted scenes of this movie. Not to mention the alternate ending. There was an entire thing about the Spider Woman. Oh boy. That's fucked up.
Spider Woman?
Yeah. There's Agamemnon giving Kevin a knife, which oddly enough he has later when he's in the cage.
Yeah, but okay.
They just decided to cut that because it's like, oh, he's giving him a weapon. It's like,
Okay.
he's living in ancient Greece. What the hell do you think?
And he proclaimed him as his.
Yeah, you're gonna be like you're gonna be the next ruler. So like, yeah, maybe you should arm yourself. Kevin's bedroom was actually supposed to be at one point in time in between the two separate setup of dream sequences, being flooded with a pirate ship sailing in.
Okay.
Yeah. There was going to be a bank robbery where they go into the 22nd century.
Interesting.
Yeah. All of that footage is apparently just lost to time, which
So it's not even on like a
it's
DVD,
gone.
Blu-ray, something.
doesn't exist.
No?
Does not exist. Terry Gilliam just when during the retrospective on a lot of his career, he would talk about this movie and talk about certain scenes that were cut out. John Cleese filmed his parts in 2 days because he was currently in a tiff with Gilliam, and O'Brien also after this completely refused to work with Terry Gilliam on any project ever again.
Yeah, that sucks.
There's a reason why.
Yeah, Terry Gilliam is not all rainbows and sunshine to work with,
No.
especially not when he started off.
No.
Okay.
It's one of those I'm an auteur. So it's my vision and it has to be this way. And if it's not this way, then I'm just not going to do it.
You know what would be a rough month? A Terry Gilliam month, because it would probably set me off a deep, dark cliff. So
Well, all I'm saying is we finally reviewed Brazil, which I know you don't like that movie, but I like that movie a lot.
Baron Munchausen and 12 Monkeys and all that stuff.
Oh, that actually sounds like kind of fun. To me, to you, it sounds like a nightmare.
No, it's not a nightmare. I actually seen 12 Monkeys a week ago. It's fucking good.
It's a good movie.
It kills me.
Yeah. Well, that's supposed to be the point of it.
I know.
But for everything else, we'll discuss it.
All right. Cool. All right. Let's do our first game of the night, because we're gonna do. I want
Probably a little bit of a speed run. We're gonna kind of go to the best bits.
Podcast today, not because the movie sucks, but because of reasons. Okay. We'll not get it.
Well, that and also the movie sucks.
The movie sucks. Anyway, let's do our first game of the night. It is called Missing Marquee. Missing Marquee, for the uninitiated, is where we take 10 posters of movies, have their text written off, we display them in Oh My Feelings, and the chat will have to guess which movie this is, and I, of course, will have to share my screen because I haven't done that
Yet.
Of course.
Yeah.
And we will go now.
Anger management.
Anger management. It'll be fast if you do it.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Which
2?
one?
Is that 2 or 3?
No,
3.
that's 3.
3. Oh no! I always forget about this film.
Also starring Tim Robbins.
Yes.
Jay came in right at the clutch time.
And I actually have seen this movie. I can never remember the name of it.
It's a baseball movie.
Yeah. Well, no shit, Sherlock.
Jay's here to help.
Bull Durham.
It's Bull Durham.
Yeah. Natural Born Killers.
Natural Born Killers.
That's is that
That's RDJ. Again.
Yes, and Marissa Tomei. It's I think a Moon Slipped.
Mm, mm, mm. Mm, 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 mm,
Nope,
mm,
I don't remember it.
mm,
You get me on these weird romantic comedies always.
Not
Moonstruck.
Moonstruck. Moonstruck is with Cher and
Cher
Nicolas
and
Cage, and he's crazy at it.
Yes, of course
Surprise!
he's
surprise.
Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
it's
you know what Nicolas Cage movie I've seen Thursday morning?
what's that?
Gone in 60 Seconds.
That's not a good one either.
It's gonna come up as a extra bonus thing when I get to the States.
Oh man, you should have done like Mandy or.
Hey, it's all about accommodating the guest. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's only
Only you. Okay.
It's a great poster, by the way.
This is the Blob.
It is the Blob.
Yeah.
Which is it the 1986
Six.
Blob, not the
Yeah.
1957,
It was,
1960.
I think it was 56.
It was 56
Yeah.
could be.
Oh no, I just forgot the name of this movie.
You know what? When I went through these, I also forgot, and it was written.
Well, I can give you the entire plot of it. Like star quarterback goes to prison. They end up having a game between the prisoners and the
and the
correctional
inmates. Yeah, exactly.
And
what is
it's
the name
Stone
of
Cold
the-
Steve Austin is one of the, it's oh god. Crap.
Oh, we got
Longest Yard.
Longest Yard is correct.
Cop Out.
No, Cop Out
No.
with Bruce Willis.
Oh no, it's the other guys.
The Other Guys is correct.
Oh no, this movie's so bad. It's something in the oh god, what the hell is that? They were gonna make an expanded universe out of this.
Yeah,
too.
the book was better.
Jupiter. No, that's not Jupiter Ascending.
No,
it's,
Jupiter Ascending is with
Wachowskis.
Mila Kunis and
Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
Valerian
and the Thousand Planets.
Planets. Yeah, that's awful movies. That's just Wedding Crashers.
That is Wedding Crashers, and that is it for this round. Yeah,
Lots of garbage.
lots
in there.
of garbage
Lots of garbage.
with some real hidden gems like Natural Born Killers.
Yeah. CJ, I have an off day too, so don't worry about it.
We all have our off days. All right. Let's begin at the beginning. I've got 1, 2, 3. Yes. All right. Cool. Let me just do this and that and this. All right. Becky loves the Wedding Crashers. I don't.
Oh, why not?
It's a personal choice.
All I'm saying is it introduced the world to Isla Fisher, and I am thankful for them for that.
Okay. Well, note to self, Isla Fisher.
Sucker for redheads.
First one, it's like the movie, not Catch Me If You Can. Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
It was okay.
Jesse Eisenberg does his best to ruin that movie.
Yeah.
And the first one is pretty good. The second one, I really contemplated like a bullet. Like
No,
really.
seriously. No, the second one, they're like, no, wait, so they are magic now, right? Because they're pulling shit off. Like, there is absolutely no way you cannot pull this off without being able to defy the laws of physics.
Woody Harrelson is such a great actor, and he's in the first one, he does a great job. And you can tell in some movies he's in, including Hunger Games, motherfuckers, that he is there for the fucking paycheck.
Yeah.
Becky didn't care for Now You See Me. I get it. I was just Isla Fisher. Anyway, by the way, who did the special effects in this movie? Do you know? Or did you have it down in your notes? because the only good special effects that I was like blown away, because this is 81. Remember, this is 81. This is not ILM. The door opening was like, ooh, this is high tech for 81.
I think this was actually in house from Handmade Studios.
Ooh, interesting.
I do believe so.
Paul Harley, I turned that off in 15 minutes. I know why. I'm telling you, if you can get past Jesse Eisenberg in that movie, you can get through it all. Now You See Me is, yeah. Anyway, I've seen it way too many times. Thank God I was not forced to watch the second one more than 20 minutes. Anyway, Mephisto, give me a rating for No Country for Old Men with Woody Harrelson. I liked it, not because of Woody Harrelson, though. I think Javier Bardem does a fucking phenomenal.
Well, that and fucking Tommy Lee Jones.
And Tommy Lee Jones is great in it. Josh Brolin is great in it. Yeah. Woody Harrelson is there. He's not bad in it. It's one of those parts where, yes, I can see Woody Harrelson doing this role with not because of the money, because it's like he wanted
it's a passion
to role.
project.
I did love No Country for Old Men. I didn't watch it when it came out. I watched it way later because
I actually wouldn't saw that.
The trailer didn't pull me in.
Yeah.
Didn't go to the theaters, but I did watch it later on. It's like 3-4 years maybe later, but it was fucking phenomenal. But we're here for Time Bandits. All right. We'll skip to this.
Kind of, I think the entire thing is going through the credits with the opening. What's important with the credits at the opening is the fact that it opens up with the map, and then the epilogue at the end, with the very end of the credits, the map rolls back up.
Wait. Let me do something like this
With the Supreme being, but
yeah. I'm going to skip to this because...
Yes. So what we have before this is basically the entire setup is Kevin's really just kind of ignored by his parents, who are so... Again, like, they are really enraptured by what the concept of evil, which he has in his mind, of all of technology and everything. So
yeah, and that's what's weird to me, that the whole point is like technology is bad and it's corrupting, and it's like, it's very interesting concept for 1981.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I kind of immediately popped into my head is Harry Potter. Not the whole magical thing, not the whole like stuff that happens to him during the night, is the fact that his parents are like, they're not bad, they're just a bit neglective. And it's so weird that in the first night, he has this sort of like dreamlike sequence.
Oh, just as an aside there, to get the horse to actually jump out of the closet, it took him 2 weeks to have it to train the horse to jump through the barrier. So, see, you got Harry Potter. You know what I got instead? The Never-Ending Story.
I can see that too. And that like first scene that everybody forgets at the start of the movie, where his dad kind of neglects him because the mom.
Well, and also he spent the night alone in a like completely and totally alone. And his parents are like, nobody gave a shit trying to look for him at all. He's just up there reading a book.
Yeah, but the thing for me is like, it started off as maybe he's dreaming and it's a stuff that he's afraid of, and then he realized, oh, it's all in my head. And then in the other night, he cannot wait to go
back to bed. Yeah,
which means he wasn't really afraid of that first night. He was fascinated.
Yeah.
And his dad is like, why are you going to bed early? No, you have to stay. You have to let your food go down, and then you can go like upstairs and go to bed. And when he's like, it's down now. The food is down now. Let's go. And it's like, really? Do you want to go to bed? Why don't you just sit with us and watch TV? And on the TV, it's something that it's sort of a recurring TV show that says,
your life,
a reward or your life, which is like the age-old we're against the consumption era of TV and all that stuff, which is very Terry Gilliam to me, very Terry Gilliam. And then of course he's got
Clay, you're right on that one.
Yeah, I think let's pull it up. I think that Terry Gilliam mentioned before that this movie was a commentary on the disconnect between the parents and the kids in the modern society. Yes, for sure. For sure. And it's all that. And that's why the fact that technology and the people who are like more into technology are the evil, quote unquote, people.
Well,
and the people who are more spiritual are the better people, which is kind of
what's so odd is there is the disconnect there would be actually the absolute reverse though, because it's the kids that are more interested in the technology.
Yeah.
Because
in this case, the parents are more into his mom is like, oh, this thing does heat things.
We're gonna say it can make beef bourguignon from a frozen block of meat in like 30 seconds. It's like what?
The what? The fuck? No.
What?
Not how it goes. But yeah, it's the start of the. Remember, it's the start of the 80s. It's the really like beginning parts of like the yuppie age, where all the hippies turned into like these conservative yuppie, money grabbing whatevers that you literally it manifests itself in Wall Street. It really does.
Greed is good.
Yeah. But the second night, he's waiting for something to happen, and then these guys just burst through the door. And
what do? We do robberies.
Yeah. And of course they're being chased by this talking head, and it's like, this is the supreme being. So this is God? No, it's the supreme being.
No, God. Well, we don't know him that well. I think that's what it is.
And they outright lied to him. They know exactly who this guy is, but they're not going to tell him because they're evil. They're robbers, right? Sean Astin had the most forgiving career in the last 5 decades. I'm not so sure about that.
I disagree with that. There are other actors who have been awful since the dawn of time that still work today. that have been in way more and been paid way more than Sean Astin.
Anyway, when they do kind of break through his wall, he's very fascinated with everything. It's like you would think the kid would be afraid. But like I said, in the first night, you would think he would be afraid to go to the room the second night, but he cannot wait to go into the room. And now he's not afraid when literally one of the walls kind of gets pushed through. And
it's never done that before.
Exactly. He was fascinated with this thing. And then when they land, they literally land. And trust me, I was waiting to say this. They land in scene 24.
Yes.
This is the house from scene 24 from the Holy Grail. And I knew you would know what I'm talking about, right? Yep. So they land over here. And this is apparently France in 1786.
No, it's Italy.
Italy, whatever.
This is Napoleon's invasion.
Is in the way.
Yeah. This is after the Battle of Castile.
Yeah. So and why are we here? The fellows, the dwarves, are like, yeah, we're gonna
rob Napoleon.
We're gonna rob Napoleon because he's rich. It's like, I don't think Napoleon was carrying a lot of cash with him while he was.
No.
I was like, I'm not too sure he was carrying a bunch of like gold and stuff with him. I was like, okay.
Also, wouldn't it make more sense for them to actually go to Paris and not here and not directly involve themselves with Napoleon? Because technically at the time, the entire French army was on the warpath throughout throughout
Europe.
So it's like, yeah, Paris is kind of... So maybe go over there and take some shit.
Exactly. And what I liked about this scene and didn't like about this scene is I didn't like Ian Holm was supposed to be funny. He really wasn't. He was sort
Terry
of like,
Gilliam apparently found him hilarious, and I don't know what he was on, but I need to get some of that immediately.
yeah. The one thing that made like Napoleon laugh is the fact that it's little people,
It's little
and
people, yeah.
they beat each other up, which to me was like, this is like, you see this scene with the puppets, and then the play is over because the guy got fucking shot because it's a war zone. I don't know who shot him.
Yeah.
The thing is this. Immediately when Napoleon says, I want to see little people get like beat up, it's like, okay, it's kind of like you're already telling us how these dwarves are going to get in that, like, into good graces with Napoleon. So the entire scene fell flat. Like the entire scene from the moment he said that until the moment he left the room, because he literally came in. The guy who was the presenter was already with a noose, was like he wasn't going to kill himself. And Napoleon comes in, he gives him 2 kisses. Like, I loved it. It was great.
What's interesting too is like that bit right there that you had up. They actually go over and they're actually debating over what Napoleon's real height was and what his rumored height was. Because he's actually 5'6", but they kept mentioning 5'1" and going back and forth about it.
And it went on and on for about 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Yeah.
Why? Why? It's so stupid. Okay.
Terry Gilliam really loved it. I don't
Name
know,
one
man.
person and then name another one. We get it. He names like 5, 6, 7 different people.
The table, yeah, during the table scene, yeah.
Oh my God, please. Ugh. Anyway, so they managed to, and this is like, it's like,
Again, we're kind of zooming through this movie because it's really bad. I mean, it's a terrible film.
I'm moving, like I said, we're moving a little bit forward because the entire Napoleon thing did not make sense because of all, like, he plundered the Mona Lisa. It's like, really? I don't think so. But okay, I get it. For the movie, I get it.
Yes.
It's like you're supposed to steal like valuable things. But I don't think he sat in a room filled with like riches and gold and cups and shit. But okay. So the dwarves steal the money. They literally dressed up like mini soldiers, like mini generals, I would say.
Well, because he said, "Well, these are my new generals." Before that, so that at least made sense in the context of the film, even though, oh God, the movie's so dumb.
All right,
but so we get everything set up to where they go through another time hole with all their ill-begotten gains, and this is where we get the first bit with Vincent and Pansy.
Yes. This is a bad shot, but this is the only one I got for now. Now, we talked about at the beginning that it's supposed to be a kids movie, but it had adult themed jokes in it. This is one of those themes where Michael Palin's character is like, yes, everything works now. And she looks at him. What about the other problem?
What about the problem?
Yeah.
No, it's better. It's much better.
Much better. And you realize at the end, they're 2 separate problems, actually. Yeah. One of them is that he's impotent. And the other one is he is so uptight, he pees and or shits when he's stressed. Because when they're tied to the tree, he's like, oh, the other problem came back. And this is one of those things. Now, the dwarves crash into that cart. I know that Terry Gilliam built a
so they had an entire scaffolding set up for the shot, and Gilliam actually had both Michael Palin and Shelley Duvall sit there and say, "Okay, now here is the way you do it, so you properly fall, so you don't actually fall directly on one of the actors or actresses." What happened was during his demonstration, Gilliam fell off and fell right onto Shelley Duvall.
Poor Shelley Duvall, man.
She can't catch a break with any of these.
Fucking break, man.
Kubrick fucking terrified her to the ends of the earth, and now this. Come
Kubrick
on.
terrified her. She's done a fucking movie with Terry Gilliam falling all over her. All you need is for Robin Williams to go like
Yeah, exactly.
beating her up. So, oh my god. Anyway, poor Shelley Duvall. Robert Duvall's daughter? No, don't think so. Different Duvalls.
Different Duvalls.
Yeah, that's a question by Base Brooks. Is his daughter? No, I don't think they have any relations. Google it, but don't use Google Gemini. Anyway, that's a long story. So the bandits come in and they steal everything. She's actually a great actress. She was until she got frazzled by fucking Kubrick. If you want to know more about it, go back to the Shining episode. Watch the Shining episode.
Yeah, we break that down.
We went through the breakdown of what the hell happened, which is not very nice to poor Shelley Duvall. But yeah, so there's a moment there where Kevin kind of took their picture. They set up for the picture. They opened up the map. They explained the entire map. They don't really explain it. They just explain that the fact that the map helps them to jump into moments in time.
Was it like the exact location of where the hole is and exactly where the hole will lead? That's what the map is for.
But other than that, they don't really explain. They don't go too much into it. Yes, Base Brooks, she wasn't Popeye. She played Olive.
She's olive oil.
Yeah. And then, like, bandits come in and actually steal their supposed loot. But the dwarves aren't like, oh, they're stealing our loot. They said, oh, these are our people. They're bandits too.
It's Randall. Randall's always like, let me handle this. And then like the whole bit, like,
Sound production, take two.
Wrong one.
Sorry. Wrong button.
It's like, would you steal from a child? Yes, every single chance that I get. Arr.
Because they're going after them and they caught in the trap. And when the robbers come in, they kind of, Randall's like, I know how to take care of these guys. And of course they free them up because these robbers are not really terribly bright, which comes into contrast because you realize, oh, they're in Sherwood Forest. Because it wasn't really clear from the beginning.
No, it wasn't clear where they went until Robin Hood was shown.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, take us to your boss. It's like, they want to see the boss? It's like, you expect the boss to be as like ragged and stupid, just a big brute. In comes out a very clean looking.
Oh, John Cleese also hated this role too, by the way, because he had to shave his beard.
Oh, okay.
He had a magnificent beard at the time too.
So in comes John Cleese dressed up as a Errol Flynn looking Robin Hood.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit over exaggerated, a la Robin Hood Men in Tights. Kind of. It reminded me more like Robin Hood Men in Tights.
This kind of reminded me more of Flynn's than Elwis's. But it's also done in the same cadence as, again, the Duke of Kent, where that was his cadence when he would talk to footballers. So that was the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah. And to me, the fact that he's the most like clean cut, straight out of a like a soundstage of a play, starring John Cleese as Robin Hood, with everyone around him as if they were the real people of Sherwood Forest.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is exactly what they would look like, the actual bandits. Yeah,
exactly. And to me, it was completely dumb. I'm telling you right now, that was completely.
Oh yeah, it was utterly off. You know what this scene reminded me so much of? The tiger scene.
Yes, which started off great and then ended up in a.
Because it keeps going for a little bit too long. The bit where he just mentions them as the poor, that's okay. That's kind of funny. But then at the end, they have that good Monty Python be like, thanks, 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 thanks. Awful people.
Exactly, and to me, it's a bit of a. What a bit annoyed me is the fact that again, I didn't really remember the movie. You start the movie, you see Handmade Productions, and then it starts immediately into sort of a score of the movie, and you see the like starring all the different actors. Most of them, especially the top billed actors, had very little to do with this movie.
Yeah, well, that's really most important too. Is when they did the opening credits, we kind of skipped over this.
Yeah.
They put the top billed actors in alphabetical order at the very beginning instead of who actually is the real main cast.
Yeah, because you see, like, it starts the movie and it says John Cleese. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna see John Cleese. I'm happy. He was there for 2 minutes.
2 days.
Yeah, 2 days
of filming. But in overall film time, maybe
overall,
like I think 3 minutes in total, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. It was like, what? Really? Even Ian Holm was like fourth or fifth in the order. It was like he was there again, 3 minutes tops, maybe.
Oh no, all of the Napoleon it was about 10 minutes.
No. He was a bit more because he got the first scene
and then the table
he
scene.
eats with them the dinner. Yeah, so a bit more. Okay. It's weird, but I get it. And by the way, when I saw the movie for the very first time, on the box it said the new Monty Python
movie. Yeah.
And I went I went to because it was in Hebrew, so I was like, okay, it might be like sort of a, one of those things like nominated for 4 Oscars. It didn't win. Nominated for 4 Oscars, movie, blah, 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 blah. The promotion that they do. It's like, okay, maybe it's one of those things. I went back and I saw it in a French version, in a German version, and in an English version. But I'm pretty sure it was a UK version. It's like a videotape version. Which was like on the box, the new Monty Python movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, now we get a little bit more into. So far, we're about 40 minutes? Yeah, 40 minutes into the movie, and there's no
antagonist
stakes.
Yeah.
The only stakes that we kind of have is the supreme being chasing them. But it's not all the time. It's at this point, it was just the one time in the movie. So we don't have any stakes. Now comes the stakes. We see the David Warner character, the evil. And he wants the map. And why does he want the map? Still, we don't know. Because he doesn't say.
Because the only thing he says is, with it, I can redefine.
He said that later. He said that in the.
Well, he does, but yeah. But the justification does come later, sort of. Even though that doesn't make any sense, because how could he undo his own creation? But because, yeah.
Like I said, and I think God or the supreme being kind of explains it at the end. It's like, how can he do that? He can't do that. He's just going to annul himself.
Yeah. So we got the.
It's. Base Brooks, it's all about PR. Trust me, if it was just in the US, in the UK, and here, I would get it. It's a sort of we know who to promote this with. I saw this in a French version and in a German version. Because what it was is, there's a poster of the movie, right? I kind of took part of it to use for the thumbnail. At the very top, there's a lot of blank space, a lot of white blank space, And there they had different, you can write anything you want. So they use the same font for different languages. And that's how they build it as a Monty Python movie, which is ridiculous. Come to think of it, it was ridiculous.
Well, the only reason why they could is the only person who did not appear in this of the Monty Python crew were Graham and Terry Jones.
Eric Idle wasn't in this.
Oh, no, you're right. Eric Idle wasn't either.
It was just Palin and Cleese, and I think Gilliam is there for like a second, but he's not. He's under makeup and shit.
Yeah, but also he directed it, so.
But the thing with them is like you kind of get what evil wants is to kind of divert the dwarves into his domain, but you don't actually get it until a bit later on.
Well, 'cause they end up setting up the whole thing of getting the most fabulous object.
Fabulous object in the deepest, darkest dungeon. It's like,
yeah. What's interesting too is like I do love the entire bit because evil has kind of a point there. I mean, come on, think about it. Nipples for men. We're dealing with a crazy person here.
drop your channel link if you have one. I'll subscribe. You watch. I don't know how you're watching me if you're not on the link, but just subscribe. I'll in a second. Okay. Right. So.
Oh, we also too. He actually goes on a little bit of a tirade too about his about the technocracy,
Yeah.
A little bit of.
He kind of explains the whole this is evil and that's that kind of a thing. The whole point of us for your guest. Here you go. Enjoy. Link is in the chat. I'll pin it later on the end.
Oh well.
I don't understand what you want from me. Like, drop your channel link if you have one. I'll subscribe. Like, what other channel?
This is the only one. I
do have other channels. I don't do anything with.
I think he's asking if I have one. It's like no, I'm here. That's what I'm here for. that's about it.
Anyway, I don't know what you want from me, but I'm glad you're here. Anyway, let's go on. This moment, your guest. All My Feelings does not have a channel. He's a really good friend of mine, but he's here to have fun with me. He doesn't have a channel, doesn't have a Twitter. Like, he's all out of. He's not a personality. Let's just say this. Mexican Iron Man, which is supposed to be our guest in a few weeks, is more of a YouTuber than All My Feelings. Trust me. All My Feelings is very much not a YouTuber.
Nope.
Okay? Right. Sean Connery, Agamemnon. Kevin, so there's a point where the Supreme Being chases the bandits and two doors open. And they kind of
not that one.
Yeah, they're pointing Kevin into one of them.
No, because he goes like, "There's two doors. Take whatever one you want." And then he just jumps out the one door. Like, well, not that.
Yeah, exactly.
Said it earlier, moron.
And what Kevin? It's like Kevin goes in and it closes, and was like, "Oh shit!" The dwarves are like send him into not another dimension. It's another timeline, but they send him off and. He's clearly gonna be lost because he doesn't have the map. Not that he knows what to do with it at this point, but okay. And he lands on this Minotaur fighting this hoplite, and it ends up being Agamemnon, who never fought a Minotaur in his life.
It's like, well, that was Theseus, right?
That was I think it was Theseus. It wasn't Agamemnon.
No, definitely was not Agamemnon.
But he's like, okay, you can have this helmet. It's like, it's too big for me. I don't.
No. He actually is like, really? Can I?
Basically Kevin is the one that kind of helps.
And also fell from the sky. Wouldn't Agamemnon freak the fuck out?
I thought about it, but no, because Agamemnon was fighting he doesn't say minotaur, by the way. He says a beast.
Yes.
So it's already magical. So what's another guy falling?
Kind of, and he also does say, "Wait, did the gods send you?" So kind of, but still, he would immediately he would be bowing down to him as kind of like, "Oh my, no, you were literally sent by the gods because you came from the sky and prevented me from getting murdered."
Now, my question, and I've put it down as a mental note, was the place where they shot the same place where they shot Life of Brian?
No.
Oh, do you know where it is?
Yes.
It could be two places before you say so. It could be either where they shot Life of Brian, which is in Tunisia, or another choice is Morocco.
You got
Was
it.
it neither of those places?
No, you got it.
Oh, Morocco? Yeah.
I was at Morocco.
From the architecture.
Yeah.
All right. Morocco doesn't look anything like the barren parts of Greece.
Yeah.
All right, then.
Yep. No, you're absolutely correct.
You mentioned this, so I have this.
Well, the magic trick, and before that too, what's great, there actually is a bit that plays into kind of like the epic poems about when it comes to the Iliad and the Odyssey about Agamemnon. That's Agamemnon's wife, Clytemnestra, hated him.
Yes.
And it actually is a little like sideaway line, like, remind her that I am the king.
Yes. And also there's a point where he kind of said, well, this is going to be my son and heir. And she gives him that
It's
look.
like, you said what?
Fuck you say? What? And then I was like, I kind of had to read. I was like, didn't she kill him in his sleep or something?
That's one version. The other, and actually Homer actually never mentioned the fact that they had a contentious like marriage, especially after like he brought one of the princesses of Troy back home as a second wife, which can kind of cause some marital strife, maybe a little bit.
By the way, this is definitely not the same Agamemnon as the movie Troy.
No,
Like whatever they did in that movie, that's not Agamemnon either. But yeah,
all I can think of is, oh god, whenever I think of that movie, it's after Menelaus is killed by Hector in that Troy movie. The actor who plays Agamemnon just goes, and the Greek army just starts charging forward. It's like, was what? Huh?
Right. Exactly. No, I have not. I have not been to Greece. My brother was in Greece for about a couple of months during the attack on my country, and he was in places where normally tourists don't actually go because it's the more quote unquote barren places. Because Greece is very rocky. It's very hilly. It's not really flat. The entire like half peninsula of Greece, Macedonia, Albania, all that part is very hilly. If you see pictures of Athens, you can see that it goes like up and down throughout the main city. So it doesn't have a lot of trees, and it's pretty barren in some places, but it's not like full on desert with hills. It's got the hills, but it's not barren completely. That's all I got to say about that.
We're gonna have another line about Greece coming up soon, which I flat out just started laughing so goddamn hard. I needed a second. I had to pause.
So the thing is, in the when Agamemnon does the proclamation of his heir, there's a big banquet and all that stuff. The guys who steal him and steal Kevin and get him to Agamemnon are wearing masks. Those are actually Mycenaean masks.
Yeah.
It's a copy. It's not really them, but it's a copy of the actual. It's a death mask, actually, that they brought in from a museum. They took they didn't imprint it, but they basically copied it.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely forgot about this part. I thought it was like assassins coming to take him away.
Yeah, because there are some very odd misdirects in this film several times. You're like, well, where are you going with this?
Yeah, and because it's a big banquet, the dwarves kind of filter in, and you kind of see them. I was like, oh, I get it. It's the dwarves coming to take Kevin, and they do take Kevin away, and they get to this ship, and we see.
Oh well, I was gonna say before that too. The music in that. When they were doing the score, the thing that they wanted to really do was do a harking back to the old Clash of the Titans.
Yes.
And Jason and the Argonauts. When you hear those pan flutes, you go, okay, I've heard this before. And you know what other film did that really, really well? That wasn't like supposed to be in this anywhere around this topic whatsoever. Conan the Destroyer.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Zardos, but
well, Zardoz too. Yeah, but Conan specifically, like when you hear one of the scenes when they're in the giant like crystal ice palace.
Yeah,
it's like, wow,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like this is like classic like 50s fantasy music.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. I completely forgot it's from Conan the Destroyer.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. I can see it. If I could unsee that, I would. Oh, 300. You know what? I'll put it on the list, Base Brooks. I'll put it on the list. Maybe not for the Reel McCoy, but for the small reviews I'm doing. I'm always thinking about what to do next. There's so many. And I can only do so much.
We could actually do an entire Frank Miller month.
What's like other than 300?
300, Sin City.
Okay.
The Spirit.
I don't think I've seen The Spirit, but that doesn't matter.
And there is the second 300. The second 300 movie, and there's also the second Sin City movie.
I haven't seen that either because I didn't want to. I didn't hear bad things about it, but I know it's not as good.
No, it's not.
Maybe.
I'm just saying, well, you said Frank Miller. I'm like, there's a month right there.
Anyway, going back to this. Now, as soon as they
Vincent
landed,
and Pansy, oh boy, this second scene is just like, so you wanted some adult humor in your children's comedy film? Here you go.
And again, they go to the same well with the fucking impotency thing, but not really. And then it focuses like the nose thing. I could only see it when the camera was really
on it. Yeah.
Really close. It's like she's into him despite the fact that he's got like a note like moly. But then when they fall, they drop it on his head and he's got a toupee, which to me, no Palin, he's not bald.
Yeah.
At least not at this point.
No.
And it's like, oh. And the baldness is the one that kind of breaks the thing. It's like,
no, but the adult humor with the ocean, it's so wet. It's so damn wet.
It's very wet. It's like, argh.
Yeah, and then there was the line where you're like, and I've got an enormous pansy.
Yeah.
It's like, Gilliam, Palin, I see what you did here.
Now, when they do land, they like the dwarves already have like lots of money. So as soon as it goes,
But the thing is, they don't actually have currency.
No.
They have items that are made out of gold. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Did they have fucking currency exchange on the Titanic there? Do they have cash for gold?
But if they already are on the Titanic, right? They already are supposed to be rich because the Titanic was like a luxury boat. Like you needed to be rich to be on that.
To be on the upper decks, yes.
Yeah. And the fact that Randall literally puts a cigar to fucking
Because
head.
we're wanting to say it, but keeps blowing the smoke and
Oh,
oh, that's good.
oh, Brooks.
But he has a line there where he says like, yeah, well, all that money, yeah, we're going to spend it on stuck out in Greece, lowest standard of living in Europe.
Yeah.
I busted out loud like, you dirty motherfuckers.
'Cause, dude, that's fucking Gilliam. And this is 81 Gilliam.
Yeah.
It's not like 90s Gilliam where it's like that joke would have been way funnier than 90s Gilliam, but okay.
It was still, it's like, okay, that's good
So,
there.
the thing about the Titanic part is the fact that he doesn't tell you they're on the Titanic until they actually, it's like, you see the boat kind of start sinking. It's like,
No,
oh,
it goes
the
to
Titanic,
the life, no, it goes
and
by
then
the
you
life preserver. The life preserver that says SS Titanic. After he says champagne and make sure there's lots of ice.
lots of ice, and then they get stuck in the ice, and then of course they're like,
Oh, Paul, you're right. He actually was credited on the 03 Daredevil, and he did do RoboCop 3. Yeah, you're right.
yes.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyway, so there's a big door, and all the dwarfs can get on the. And I was like,
This was foreshadowing of how Jack could have fit on the goddamn door, Rose.
Jack could have
Selfish
definitely
bitch.
been on the door. You fucking whore.
You killed the man. You killed that poor man.
You killed him. See, this is exactly why I don't like the Titanic movie. Fucking, oh my God. So the boys are like on that boat and they're talking about, and Randall kind of mentioned the fact that, not Randall, but Og is like talking, the evil is controlling Og, and Og is trying to get the guys to go into the castle, right? And it seems like it's gonna work, but they land somewhere else. They're landing in the ogre's on the ogre's boat, basically.
Oh no, Leo, that was not Leonardo DiCaprio star Brooks. Mm-mm. No. He had already been in the Basketball Diaries before that, and he'd also already been on TV before that.
Yeah. It was on
Is it Growing Pains?
Kirk Cameron show.
Yeah. Was that Growing Pains?
Growing Pains. He was on Growing Pains. And then he was on, I don't remember if it's Gilbert Grape first or the Heroin.
Yeah, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, I think, was his actual first film role.
Yeah, and then he did the Heroin Diaries. And then he did
Basketball Diaries. It has heroin in it, but it's not called the Heroin Diaries.
What is it? The Junkie
Basketball
Diaries?
Diaries.
Oh, okay.
It also, I would say the Heroin Diaries could have been also called Requiem for a Dream, but that's a completely different.
Yeah, that's true. Now, the whole boat ogre scene.
Because they get sent to the land of legend, which
Yes, yeah. It kind of tries to direct them to somewhere, and they end up in the land of legends, which is like outside of time. It's like I said, Gilliam. If you know Gilliam is a very visual person, so he likes visual things. Did you notice the ample amount of smoke everywhere?
yeah.
We kind of mentioned it during the Holy Grail.
God, I've got it in the Holy Grail.
Fucking smoke everywhere, especially this scene. I was like, oh, there's fucking Gilliam again. There's either smoke or fog everywhere. So
Yep.
they get captured by the ogre. The ogre's wife is like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring in the big skewer for all these dwarfs because we're gonna eat them all." And
a good the anti pollution bit that the ogre's on.
yeah,
Before I used to catch boots and everything. Now all I catch is fucking prawns.
yeah. And so he gets up to pick up Kevin, and it's like his back is hurting. Well, they established the fact that his back is out for a long time because he's old and he can't chase the new stuff anymore. And Kevin's like, "Oh, I know of a way." And he kind of is like, "Oh, we're going to stretch you out." And it seems like it's going to help. But then they turn on him and throw him in the water. But he's still happy about it because
I think I go, wait, is this part of the cure?
yeah. And then they throw his wife in the water as well. And then they realize, well, the boat, because they start sailing, right? The ogre's like, "Oh, my voice is back because I'm cured."
No, I can finally cough again. And then
it's like he's roaring, and that kind of activates the wind, and it pushes the boat away. But then they realize, well, the boat is just a hat on top of a giant. Because he's like getting into shore, and it's like, oh, I get it, and they're trying to find a solution for it. Meantime, the something that came up when we discussed the meaning of life, is the
elephant people,
yeah, the elephant people who got annihilated.
Yes. So the one that was in the fishies bit in the meaning of life, that was one of them that they did not use because there was supposed to be another bit where he was the one when the butler costume was going to be used, and they cut it. But they ended up having the costume left over, so they put it in the fishes scene.
Yeah, because, and we discussed this, it was a dream sequence, so why not have a fucking elephant there?
Yeah.
And we
elephant
weird
Gilliam. Fish. Yeah,
I don't remember who said it's like it's very Gilliam, and
Gilliam.
I think I said it's very Gilliam, and you said, well, there's a reason. Next week, this is it.
This is why, yeah, because this terrible. If you think about it, this is just like one giant fucking fever dream.
Yes, it is, and the crazy part is this guy. I don't know if you have it in your notes. He was a wrestler.
Yeah.
He was a UK-based pro wrestler.
Yep.
And I'm like, I get it. I totally get it. Thank you, Brooks, for the 199. Dude, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Didn't come up as a message. I'll read. If there's a message, I'll read it. But yeah. Where are we? There. So the guys are like out in the middle of nowhere because they anesthetize the fucking giant, and they manage to crawl out of the boat that he literally took off.
Takes his hat off and just
threw it. It's like, oh shit, okay. Well, and then they get to the middle of nowhere and they get stuck in an invisible wall.
Invisible barrier, yeah. Now, this is actually kind of funny.
Okay.
Because how the rest of the remaining dwarf actors kind of turn on Randall.
Yes.
They were taking their frustrations out on Mr. Rappaport. Because they hated him.
Mr. Rappaport?
David Rappaport, who plays Randall.
Oh, the act. So the dwarves are actually not acting as
yeah,
well?
They really did not like him because he was a prick.
Oh, so just like John Cleese.
Yes. So yeah, that's why it's very, very fitting. Apparently, when he got hired on, he thought he was hired on not because of his height, but due to his previous work. So he refused to socialize with any of the cast at all.
Oh, diva. Ugh.
Yeah. He was apparently a real asshole and a bear to work with. So when they're pushing him and everything, they're like, yeah, they're just letting it out. Like, we don't like you.
Yeah. So he's like, they're getting annoyed. They stole the map from him. He's getting annoyed. He's like picks up a skull and tries to throw it at them, but they duck. So he hits that invisible wall and out it kind of breaks open. It's like, oh, this is the deepest, darkest place that we're looking for. This is where that treasure is, that wonderful thing.
Fabulous thing. What's interesting too is we mentioned Conan the Destroyer before. Not only the music, but this scene with the glass shattering and the crystals, the way that the plot moves forward. The writer of Conan the Destroyer said, "Yeah, I kind of borrowed that."
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Conan came out. The Destroyer came out in 84. The Barbarian 82.
I think it was 81.
Okay. It couldn't be 81. This came out 81. So 80. I'm pretty sure it's 82. Chat. Check me. But I love. You know what I love? The miniatures, because you can
The miniature work in this film is
definitely tell it's a miniature, but it's done really, really good. Really good.
You know how you could tell it's great?
Yes.
It was handmade.
Yes. I know, because it's, you know why? Because it's imperfect.
Well, no, also, you missed the joke there.
Yes, it's handmade production.
There it is.
I know.
There it is.
I tried to skim through it. You won't let me because you're annoying and I love you.
Never gonna let you go.
Anyway, right. This leads us to something completely different because it's basically the last scene of the movie. And now for something completely different. And what is that? That is Screen Fighter, and I am willing to talk.
Round 1. Fight.
Screen Fighter for the uninitiated is where we take two movies, pit them together, and see which one is the best one. If there's no discernible difference between the two, both of them are good, both of them are bad, we fall into our criteria, which is Friday evening, Saturday evening, out with the boys, out with the girls, out with your significant other. Two movies in a vacuum. Which one will we pop in? Let me set this thing up because reasons and professionalism and all that jazz. All right, cool. Chat participation is most welcome. Just shout out your film from the two films in front of you, and we'll give you the reasons. The Big Short or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Is this really a contest here?
No, just tell me which one and why.
I mean, it's The Big Short.
Why?
Because Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the 2005 version, is terrible.
My daughter watched the recent Willy Wonka with Timothy Chalamet. She watched this one with Grandma because I was not willing to watch it. And we sat down and watched the original 71 Willy Wonka. She said that of the three, number one is 71 because she's my daughter. Number two is the recent Timothy Chalamet one because, as quote, she liked it that he was trying to imitate Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
And three is this one, and she really doesn't like this one. To me, The Big Short, because it's a fantastic film about a very serious subject, and if you went through the 2008 calamity, the financial calamity, and want to know exactly how it happened, that's how.
There you go. Yeah.
And it fully explains everything in a very entertaining way, by the way. Star Wars.
Fuck you. Oh, fuck you. Oh, we're going. Okay. Gloves are off. We're going to fight today, bud. We're going to fight today.
We're leaving Las Vegas, a movie we covered and a movie we're probably never going to cover together on this show.
We're eventually going to do Star Wars. It's just going to be a long time to get there.
Maybe. Well,
You already know my answer.
It's Leaving Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. It's one of my favorite films of all time.
I know.
I absolutely adore that movie.
I know. Compared to my favorite, almost it used to be my number one at one point of all time. And then I really thought about it. It was like, I kind of love other movies apart from this, but I want to say it definitely says Star Wars there from 1977 and not Star Wars A New Hope, blah, 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 all that new stuff. This is the one. This is the original poster. This is the despecialized, original, not remastered version. That's the one I like. That's the one I like. And chat is talking about other things.
And also, I will have to give it to you there too as well. On a Saturday afternoon or on a Friday night or something, if you're hanging out and you want to watch a movie for fun, you would not put on Leaving Las Vegas, even though I love that movie so much.
The mods are with me.
I mean, again, I have to kind of give it to you that because like I would not turn on like, hey, everybody, we're having fun, having a couple of beers. Let's watch Leaving Las Vegas, a film about a man slowly killing himself. Yay!
And I think we kind of talked about this when we kind of went over it, the movie itself. And I really like Leaving Las Vegas as its own thing. Like, appreciate a very well thought out, well written, very well acted movie. Like, and the story is a very good story, but I will space the darkness for me. Anyway, next up is Thor or The Breakup.
Now, see, I think you and I may have differing opinions on this one. I like The Breakup because it's a typical romantic comedy that subverts expectations.
Okay.
Because at the end, spoiler warning if you haven't seen it, but, we're talking about it, so you should know that you've already seen it. They don't end up back together again.
Yeah, they actually do break up.
Oh, that's the very end of the film. Like, they have a meeting on the end of the street as like a post, almost like near credits scene.
Yeah.
But that's it. Thor, on the other hand, is probably one of the worst of the prequel Avenger films. It's not good.
Yeah. I didn't like it either. If you're looking for fun, you're probably going to watch Thor. But if it's these two, I would actually watch The Breakup.
The Breakup actually has some pretty funny scenes in it.
Yeah, there are some funny scenes in it. And the main issue with The Breakup, and again, it's down to Jennifer Aniston and the promotion behind this thing, is the fact that they pushed her being naked in it. And
yeah. No. Was that this one or that was the...
No. It happened twice.
Okay.
If you've ever seen a movie called Wanderlust, written and acted by Jason Theroux, it's the promotion was you'll get to see Jennifer Aniston, the star of Friends, naked.
Oh yeah, that was what was that?
Naked in Wanderlust, but it's
Wanderlust. That's what it was.
The squares that they use to censor, and in this one, it's from the chest up, kind of nakedness. There, you know what? If you really want to see Jennifer Aniston naked, okay, that's fine. The movie is worth watching regardless if she's naked in it or not. And this is coming from me.
Well, actually, I did not know anything about the promotional material either before. I actually just managed
definitely
to watch that.
They definitely pushed her being naked in this too. The Punisher. This is the Thomas Jane Punisher.
One. This is the one with
John Travolta as the
and it also Kevin Nash is the wrestler.
Kevin Nash, right?
He's the Russian, and he actually got stabbed on set.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't one of the takes. He actually got stabbed.
And Spaceballs, the French version of it, or the French poster. Yeah.
The voice that he does. That's
Spaceballs.
No.
The Punisher.
Baseball's so bad.
No.
I hate that movie.
Fuck off. True Grit, the new True Grit, and The Blind Side. And
Wow, both films I would not be like, so I want to sit down and watch a movie for fun and shits and giggles.
hold. You know what's crazy? From the two, I've watched The Blind Side more times. And I'll tell you why. It just comes up on it was on cable,
yeah.
but the service I have now, which is mostly internet based, they do have a movie channel, but it has really stupid movies. This movie's on every a month and a half.
Really?
So I've seen The Blind Side more times than I've seen True Grit.
I'm not a big fan of Westerns, but I watch True Grit every single day, though.
If it's these two, I would watch True Grit, to be honest. And it's nothing to do with what we learn now about the movie. It's not as true to life as it is it presented. I haven't seen Stranger by the Lake, but probably because it's the
It's actually pretty good. Oh yeah, it's Fury Road. God, that's easy. Oh, that is so easy.
I didn't like Fury Road at all.
Oh, come on. Just for the spectacle of it.
All. I would watch it, though, for the spectacle.
Yeah.
Brewbreaker, it's an older movie. I think it's one of those movies where they were trying to go for an Oscar. I don't even think they got a nomination.
No.
I could check later, but off the top of my head, I don't think it got a nomination. It's one of those movies where it's a transitional thing between the 70s into the 80s, as it doesn't hold up. But
really, Paul? You think it's worse than Beyond Thunderdome? I think Beyond Thunderdome is.
I'll leave it at that. I would pick. I pressed Mad Max, but for real, I would watch Beyond the Thunderdome, just because I just didn't like it's not a Mad Max movie.
I don't know, but have you recently watched the original Mad Max?
Oh, I
not Road Warrior. I mean the original Mad Max. That's also a really, really rough watch.
What everybody remembers of Mad Max is desert and crazy cars and crazy chains.
Well, what everybody remembers of Mad Max is Road Warrior. Nobody really remembers Beyond Thunderdome.
Nobody
remembers the first.
First of all, Beyond the Thunderdome is very close to Road Warrior when it comes to like visuals. Okay, Mad Max is a completely different thing. Yeah. It's not bad, but it's not as good as everybody remembers. Everybody remembers Road Warrior. Everybody remembers because there's a reason, and we'll get to that reason in the future.
Just walk away.
But yeah, I was yeah. It's not as great of a film as you think it is. It's not bad though.
I don't think it's great, but I'm just saying, like, if I were to turn it on again, given the criteria, I'd be like, yeah, I'd watch that instead.
Yeah. All right, so the crew gets to the big castle, the big dingy castle, the evil castle, and they're facing this. Now, I've moved a little bit ahead as they go into this thing, and suddenly they're in this area where there's a maze to get to the guy who's this is the program. Is it not dead or alive, but Lies or Your Life, something like that.
Bet Your Life, yeah.
And
what's interesting too is the fact that, given the fact this is all in the context and the guise of a child's fever dream,
yes,
it makes sense that his personification of what is evil and trying to trick people would be this guy, because that's what he did to his parents, and his parents are standing behind him.
And he, at first, he's like mom and dad, and then the kid realizes
it's like, no, don't. It's a trap. It's a trap.
And when they do get caught, they I think it's Randall that says, "Oh, you were like Kevin, you were right,"
yeah,
or something. And as there's like sitting after evil took their map, and they're sitting there, and Kevin is like, okay, what am I gonna do? And he still has his bag.
After Vermin eats the rat.
Yeah. He gets out the bag and he looks at the Polaroids. And the first Polaroid he kind of looks at is Agamemnon's, like Sean Connery. And then he kind of flips over and he realizes, oh, we have the map. We've got a picture of it because before we had that 2-door thing in the Sherwood Forest, or before even they went after the bandits, the merry men, he took their picture, and it's like, oh, we found a new will to live, so we just have to like escape.
And who's the best one? Again, as I told you before, who was the best out of the bandits? Fucking Wally. Wally steps the hell up. Pries open the cage, gets up there, gets the rope, sets up the whole swinging maneuver.
And like I said, I totally forgot. I remember him cutting the rope away and then falling into some sort of a portal. That's what I remembered.
Well, because that's what I was thinking too, because they kept saying, like, we're right above the door, where it's like, so yeah, you just... Because I had not seen this in at least 20 years. So that's when the first time when I did the first re-review, I was thinking the same thing, Meth. I'm like, they're going to cut the rope away.
Cut the rope, go through, fall into the doorway, right?
Yeah.
No. He cut away enough to make rope in order to leapfrog out of there. I was like,
Yeah.
Okay. And like I said, there's a big, it's a very long set piece.
Long, elaborate set piece.
Of like escaping, doing
leapfrog. Wally and Strutter doing the whole
almost
swing.
dying.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh my God, Wally's dead. And they bring him, oh, Wally's not dead. This movie reminded me a lot of The Lord of the Rings, because people you think that died did not die.
How dare you? How dare you? The name of Lord of the Rings.
Hey, and guess what? See, Tolkien was a thief the whole time. He went into the future, saw Time Bandits, and then he wrote everything about Frodo dying multiple times.
I hate you so much.
Get it? Because Frodo's a hobbit.
I know. I got it. I love you. So, the one thing, and this I noticed it immediately and put a pin in it, and now I got it. I got the picture I wanted. Is right before they confront evil, he's there with cellophane things over everything.
It's exactly what his parents had.
This is just a fever dream of fucking Kevin.
Yeah,
right?
Because his parents had all of the plastic wrapping on their furniture.
I have to admit,
like the elderly or psychopaths.
And I was gonna say, my grandmother, she didn't have cellophane all over everything, but she had that one couch that she had whatever nylon or whatever thing that she had on the one couch, and I always was afraid to ask why. It wasn't the newest couch, which was, you would think it would be the newest couch out of the 2 or 3. No, it was just her favorite one that she didn't want the kids to spill like popsicles on or food or anything. Yeah. You could, as a kid, sit on it from all the like grandkids and stuff. You could sit on it and eat on it, but don't take off the fucking nylon.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I think, to be fair,
even Brooks had a grandma.
Brooks, I think everybody had somebody in their family that had something like this at some point in time in their life, especially during our generation, the ones that were like born in like the 20s and 30s that were growing up. So we have this. We have, I think, one of the best cutting remarks that I really, really want to say to somebody. Oh, Benson, you are so mercilessly free of the ravages of intelligence.
It made me laugh, too. That's the only line that actually made me laugh.
And they turn him into Benson, the dog, which, by the way, is a tie-in to so many Jim Henson properties.
Really?
The same dog.
Same
Guess
dog?
what?
Same breed, probably.
Same breed and the same kind of look of the dog. Named Benson is in so many Jim Henson productions. In Fraggle Rock, he's the dog that the owner owns in Fraggle Rock.
Is there a dog in the labyrinth? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I think it doesn't come to the labyrinth, but I think he's in the house where she guards the baby. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I've again, there's so many movies, but I think they have a dog too, but it could be that kind of a breed. But okay, I get it.
But so they have Benson guarding the map. Og gets it and then gets turned into half a pig man.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the pig in a second. Oh boy. That's fine.
I was going to ask you because the pig automatically, I was thinking a Pinocchio, but they don't turn into pigs; they turn into donkeys.
Yes.
So I was kind of lost. So I don't know where the pig comes from.
The pig wasn't really a reference to anything, but it's just what happens with the actual pig itself when it was on set. Because Terry Gilliam had some choice words about that, but we're going to get to it in just a minute.
Okay.
The other thing, too, is while they're doing the runaway, Og and Kevin, you start seeing where the fractures in the dream space are starting to coalesce with what reality is.
That's
because you start seeing other things like giant Lego blocks.
Yes. I was going to say that the room at certain point seems like it was built out of Lego blocks because some of them were exposed.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's completely in Kevin's head this entire time.
And the fact that the one wall there is a checkerboard.
Yes. Yeah. Everything is sort of like, okay, this is a game. And thank you, Gillian. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed the show. But the thing with this is like, if you didn't get that it is all in Kevin's head at the end of the day, this is like a big telltale, a massive telltale. And so there's a certain point where they captured the thing, Og turns into the pig man, and Kevin is like, I'm gonna divert, and you can like go to get some help. But he takes the map with him to do the diversion, which is to me the stupidest thing.
That's the dumbest idea.
And they said, well, you need to take one of us with you. Okay, Og, fine. And Og is like,
well, because Og couldn't object.
Yeah.
Because he's a pig. Well, half pig.
And all of them kind of scattered.
Yeah. So the thing is, when they actually get to the point where Evil does confront them, and then when he does get the map, when Evil starts saying, before he gets the map, when he has the specters after them and he starts blowing up all of his minions, this is the bit that made me laugh so hard. I don't know why every single time it happened. Because he blows them all up, and then he looks at Benson and he goes, and then when the dog blows up, I don't know why. I burst out laughing every single time I see it. When the dog blows up, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. I was like, really?
It's just it's like, okay, Gilliam, you're just going for it.
Yeah, he blows up the other minion, and he tells him, it's like, okay, I'm gonna give you the thing that you wanted. Oh, thank you, sir. Really? He wanted to explode? Okay, fine. And we mentioned that at the start. The ghosts chasing Kevin are like really not kid friendly. No. Like really, really not kid friendly.
They're these like amalgamations of like almost like old Greek mythology spirits. With the goat or lamb skulls. Yeah.
And of course, the different guys, because they have the picture of the map, so they know where to go. They're bringing in every hero from every.
Oh, and see, there's a perfect shot there because you can see the Lego blocks in the back there.
Yeah,
that are clear. What's interesting too is right before that, when Og gets turned into a pig. So everything about the pig story is they brought on an animal trainer who had a quote unquote trained pig.
Yeah.
Said, well, no, the pig can react to everything that you want it to do. All you have to do is just lead me through it and everything. Gilliam gave him all the directions as proper. Pig didn't know how to do a damn thing. Just kind of ran and shat all over the place. And Gilliam said, working in film, I've worked with a lot of mad people, but there are none madder than animal trainers.
I'm trying to think about other Gilliam movies and animals. Brazil didn't have any animals. 12 Monkeys definitely had CG animals.
Yes. And it's that late 90s CG where it's like,
Yeah.
did not age well.
Yeah. I don't remember any. Baron Munchausen. I don't remember if there were animals. There were
It's been
fake
forever since-
animals.
Yes.
Anyway, okay, never mind. Put that aside. So the heroes are coming to the help, but the evil is literally destroying them one by one.
Yeah. And if you notice too, all of the heroes they bring back, they're all the toys that were in Kevin's room or were pictures on Kevin's wall.
Exactly what I was going to say. It's the fact that everything is culminating into the fact that he is still there. It's like he's still in the room. He's still dreaming. And I literally half expected the robot to come to appear.
Oh, yeah.
He kind of does. Kind of. Because I had to go back at the end. I had to go back. The moment where the evil kind of, he spins around with the cowboys, his head opens up to make that pole, and you got that sort of like the carnival music. Like
a carousel, yeah.
When it opens up, it kind of looks like a pole. It's technology-esque, so maybe that's the robot. But I'll leave it to your and to
That's fine.
Gilliam's imagination.
Well, and also one line that the cowboy says does not age well at all. I guess we'll have a lynching.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oof.
Brooke, thank you again. The 199, my brother.
That.
Thank you.
Agamemnon was actually supposed to be in the battle, but they didn't have Connery enough on set in order for him to be there. Because what happens to Fidget later when Fidget gets killed, that was when Agamemnon was supposed to die.
Oh.
In the scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They ended up having. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, from what I saw, Connery fought to be one of the firefighters to have a complete.
No, he did because he couldn't be an Agamemnon in that last scene because he wouldn't be able to be on set at the time. So they brought him back to have it come full circle. Yeah.
Okay.
One of the firefighters. And like also speaking of, again, for bits for him being a kid, the archer scene where all of them shoot the arrows and it's that giant like classic needle pin tomato with they even put the giant spool of thread at his feet.
Yes. Yeah. I noticed it because I was bored.
Yes.
I noticed a lot of things in this movie. It's like in that last bit, it dragged. Let's face it. That whole battle scene at the end dragged on
for a long time.
For at least 15 minutes too long. Yeah. But at the end of it, suddenly, sort of like evil is exploded.
Evil wins, and then he just explodes.
And then he explodes. By the way, lots of smoke again.
Yes.
Again.
So much smoke.
Right? And we've got the Supreme Being. I am Lilu, Supreme Being. He comes in. It's like, oh, it's God. No, I'm a Supreme Being. And he technically is like, oh, yeah, I was meant to do this all the time. It's like,
no.
You didn't rob anything from me, right?
I gave it to you. I gave it to you because it's a test. I was testing you and I was testing evil.
Yeah. And it's like, but Fidget is dead. Like, no, he's not.
It's like no sleeping on the job.
Yeah, no sleeping on the job.
And that line too, where he goes, I got to get back to work though. They'll put it down to evolution again.
Yeah.
But like, oh yeah, that's a good line. Oh, that's a good line.
Gilliam. Very Gilliam. It's like, yes, if you know who Gilliam is,
Yeah.
it's exactly like that.
It was such like a Monty Python line where you see the through lines of Python throughout it in some of the commentary and some of the jokes, but you have to be really looking forward, like looking for it, because otherwise it just completely miss it.
And while they're cleaning up evil, there's a foreboding sort of like
the chunk that they miss,
behind. And there the mention of remember to put all the pieces inside the bin. It's like, okay, if you haven't seen this movie before, this is like, hello, this is a foreboding thing. It's probably gonna show up again. It's like the gun that show up in the last act kind of a thing, but it's literally the 5 last minutes of the movie. Base Brooks, it's a 9 for me on Boogie Nights. By the way,
I was gonna say it's as big as his member for me.
it's if
Which
it
is
was
about a 9.5. That's an easy joke.
And like I said, it kind of is, the evil comes back in, lots of smoke, lots of, thing. And it transitions into, Kevin is being rescued in his own house because it's burned down because his parents are so into the technology, they burned down the fucking house. And what they're trying to save is not Kevin, it's their fucking toaster.
Well, no, it's all the appliances.
It's all the appliances, yeah. But
because she is like, why didn't you go back in?
And it falls down
for the
and
blender.
breaks. Yeah. Oh, the blender.
Yeah.
And
it was like the again, we mentioned like films that really reminded us of it, because this did exactly what the ending of the original Neverending Story did, where it was all supposed to be in his head and like going through this fantasy and everything. But then Kevin finds that, first of all, the fireman was, again, essentially Agamemnon. But he sees all the portraits and everything. And even when he's driving away in the fire truck, he looks back and winks at him.
yes.
Like, yeah. But the thing was, there was the chunk of ultimate evil was inside one of the toaster oven in there.
Or microwave, one of them.
Which again is the commentary that moving forward, the technology moving fast, so fast, so quickly is really inherently evil, and them not paying attention to what Kevin has to say is what led them to their ultimate demise by touching it and blowing it up.
And the end of the movie is literally him standing in front of a burnt house with
Just a pan going, Mom, Dad.
Yeah, it's like 2 burnt ashes that.
It pans out, and then it pans out further to where it goes to the globe, and then it pans out even further from that. There's the map, and then it's just the map gets rolled up and credits. It's like, okay,
this is how you end the movie.
That's a choice, not the one I would make for a children's film, but
that kind of brings us to the end. Like we said, I can't believe we reach about a couple of hours on this thing. I really can't believe. But yeah, right. We'll end this up on a quick summarize. To me, it was a disappointment. It really was a disappointment.
Yeah.
I wanted to find something funny in this that I remembered when I watched it as a kid. Didn't find anything. There was a few bits and pieces which were like funny adult jokes that were meant to like skim over and that kids won't notice, like the one with Benson and with the intelligence thing. That, like I said, it made you laugh, it made me chuckle. The whole Palin thing was
with Vincent and Pansy.
It was funny to me, but not it's sort of like, they really skirted the line there. And like, I like that. I like it when they skirt the line and kids don't actually understand what's going on, but the joke is racy or is dirty as fuck. But otherwise, Oh, I can't. I can't.
No, I'm in the same way. I can definitely not recommend this film. Out of any other Taylor Gilliam, like, watch any other one than this. Seriously, this.
And despite the fact that you might think, I actually liked Baron Munchausen. The ending kind of falls off a cliff a little bit, but I do love that movie. I watched it way more than Time Bandits. Time Bandits, I think I've seen twice before. And I remember being disappointed that it was not a Monty Python movie because it sort of promoted as a Monty Python movie.
Well, it was at that time.
Yeah.
Everything that Gilliam was involved with, because he was involved with Python, they wanted to put that in the forefront and everybody kind of PR. Because if you think about it, it's marketing. They had to do that.
The Account with Ben Affleck, better than I thought it would be.
What is that? The Accountant?
The Accountant.
Yeah. No, that was that.
Better than
right.
I thought it would be. I didn't expect much. My wife watched it first, and she said it's good, and she really doesn't like Ben Affleck because she didn't like Gone Girl, and I did.
Oh, I love that movie.
And she watched that, and she's like, you know what? I think you should watch this with me. I think you would like it. And I really did like it. So, yeah. 7, 8. I don't like to give like numbers. I really don't. Yeah. And thank you for another 199, my dude. Thank you. That's a lot of support for a small channel like this. Yeah. Trust me, it goes a long, long way. Right.
Overall, to wrap up Time Bandits, though, I would say this is definitely a film that you could skip in the entire. I said overall, when it comes to everything revolving around Monty Python and everyone involved in Monty Python, this is a film you can definitely skip.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. Next week. What is next week? Is it Nicolas Cage month?
We're starting it.
Oh,
it's happening.
It's happening.
Finally happening.
Not the bees. The bees. No, not that.
No,
we're not gonna do that.
We are not doing the Wicker Man.
We're not doing the Wicker Man. We're not doing. There's a lot. Let's just say there's a lot of Cage to go around. Next week, I'm not sure which one it is. Let's see. Oh,
yeah,
beautiful. You know what's next week? Put the bunny back in the box. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, go catch yourself some Con Air. And we're going to have some fun with it. Because
perhaps Steve Buscemi's creepiest role ever?
Probably is. Probably is.
Yeah.
Yes. Con Air is going to be on the docket. And we're going to have some fun with it. Because it's so good.
Even John Cusack is good in that movie.
You know what? Actually didn't hate him in that movie.
Yeah.
I prefer Grosse Point Blank.
Well, you even like The Ice Harvest.
For him.
You even like The Ice Harvest. Remember The Ice Harvest? You like that one.
I did like it. You know what? I did like it. But never mind. Well, it's a long conversation. We have to get out of here. You guys out there, go watch Nicolas Cage's Con Air, and we'll talk about it next week.
Yep.
And until then, remember, guys, hope is a good thing. Maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. I'll see you next week. You're still here? It's over.